Welcome to Storytime Fun, boys and girls. We hope you enjoy. And today's story is out of the Walt Disney Storyland book. And today's story is called Donald Duck, Prize Driver.
Well, what did you learn in school today, boys?
Donald Duck asked his nephews one evening.
We're studying safe driving, Uncle Donald,
said Huey, Louie, and Dewey Duck.
Good idea, said Donald. That's what this country needs. You boys just watch your Uncle Donald. You'll see what safe driving is. How did you bash your fender, Uncle Donald?
asked Huey.
We noticed it outside, said Louie. Now there was a stupid driver, said Donald. Turned right out in front of me. I was coming right along at a good clip, minding my own business. Boy, was I burned up. I told him a thing or two.
The nephews nodded at one another.
Driving too fast in traffic is bad, said Dewey. Anger causes accidents, said Louie. Always figure the other driver is not as smart as you are, said Huey. Be ready for him to make a mistake. Now listen, you fellas, said Donald. I was driving a car before you were born, and you don't have to teach me. I'm going over to call for Daisy now. Do you want to trust my driving and come along or not? Sure, Uncle Donald. We'll come, said the boys. They all hopped into the back seat and they got out their pencils and papers. As Donald flipped the starter, he glanced at his watch. Gosh, we're late, he said. Have to make up a little time.
The first stoplight turned yellow as they came up, but Donald sneaked on through. 1, 2, 3. The boys made notes on their pads, but Donald did not see that. When he tried to turn onto the busy highway, the traffic was racing by. No one would wait for him. Doggone these drivers, Donald fumed. They never think of the other guy. And at last he stamped his foot on the gas and swung out in front of an oncoming car, so it had to slam on its brakes. I'll show him, Donald said. The boys' pencils all went back to their pads. Now, said Donald, we can make some time. So down the busy highway he zoomed, swishing from one lane to another, back and forth across the road. The boys had to hang on to each other. Wow, this is too fast, they cried. So you want to go slow? Cried Donald in disgust. They were in the left lane now, the fast lane, but Donald crept along. Cars lined up behind them. Drivers tried to swing out around them. What a traffic jam he caused. Zing! Came a siren. It was the police car. Sorry, sir, said the policeman. This lane is for faster traffic. If you want to drive slowly, please keep to the right on busy highways. He saluted and then went back to his car. Well, said Donald Duck, surprised with a sheepish smile. He started up again, and they went on to meet Daisy Duck. Back home, the three boys went into a huddle. Sure looks bad, they said. Why all the gloom, boys? Donald asked. Well, we entered you in a contest at school for the most courteous driver in town, said Huey.
You did, said Donald. Say, that's great. But look at your record on this trip, said Louie. Sneaked through a yellow stoplight, Dewey pointed out. Took a chance because you were angry, Huey added. Whoa, from the lane to lane in the busy highway, said Louie. And jammed up traffic by driving too slow in the fast lane. You have all the answers, don't you? Donald snapped. But take a look at the things I do right. I keep my brakes adjusted and my lights working right, and I don't pass up hills and curves. Yes, we know, Uncle Donald, the nephew sighed. But it's for us to win the contest. You have to be the most courteous driver in the PTA. And you're a long, long way from that. Oh, I am I? Cried Donald. Well, I'll show you. I'll show the whole Parent-Teacher Association.
Next day, as Donald was driving the boys home from school, he saw some cars waiting to turn onto the busy highway. So he slowed down and let some of them in. He drove at the speed of the rest of the traffic, staying in one lane most of the time. He was careful in parking to get close to the curb and not to slide over the line into the next parking space. And when he parked the car on a hill, he turned the wheels in toward the curb so the car would not start to roll back down the hill. Courtesy doesn't take much time, the boys were quick to point out. Donald politely opened the door and bowed as they stepped down out of the car. And as the days went by, Donald found it was fun to be polite. He liked to see the ladies smile when he stopped to let them cross the street. And he liked to see the truck drivers wave and salute when he let them make a left turn. And when he saw the cars waiting to turn as he was coming toward them, he stopped to let them go. He always signaled carefully when he was going to turn or stop or slow down. Soon along came a meeting of the PTA, the Parent-Teacher Association. The boys took part in a safety drill while Donald watched from the audience. By golly, Donald whispered to Daisy at his side, those kids are the best of the lot. Next, the school principal introduced Police Chief Horsecollar. The chief will award the prizes in the courteous driving contest we've been running here in town, the principal explained. It's a pleasure to be here, said the chief. I guess you can see it's been some time since I was here learning my 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. But, folks, we're never too old to learn, and the biggest lesson we need to learn today is, in driving, it pays to take time to be polite. Tonight, it is my pleasure to award the prize for the most courteous driver in town to... And Donald smoothed his hair and straightened his tie, all ready to stand up. Mr. Mac Turner, father of Sandy Turner of this school. Thanks, said Mr. Turner from the platform. I drive a truck for a living, and anyone who drives all the time can tell you it pays, really pays, to take care and take your time to be polite. Now, said the chief, we have another prize to award, an even more important one because it proves we can keep on learning even when we're grown up. The prize for the driver who has improved most in driving courtesy goes to the uncle of Huey, Dewey, and Louie Duck, Mr. Donald Duck. Folks, said Donald from the platform,
I used to think it was smart to be speedy, but I've learned it's a lot more fun and smarter, too, to take time to be polite. The credit really belongs to my teachers, though. They did all the work. Huey, Louie, and Dewey, come on, take a bow.
Huey, Louie, and Dewey came to the platform, and they took it. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.